Scott Disick in serious trouble for his crush on Khloe Kardashian, Kris Jenner acknowledged it. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Scott Disick has found himself at the center of heavy online criticism after a resurfaced clip from an older episode of The Kardashians revealed a surprising and controversial exchange involving Khloe Kardashian. The moment came when Kris Jenner, in a candid conversation, openly suggested that Scott, who is 40, might have a crush on Khloe, who is 39. This revelation quickly drew attention, not only for what was said but also for how viewers reacted after seeing the interaction. In the episode, Scott had been opening up about his personal life, admitting that he was struggling to find love and was feeling lonely most of the time. Sitting with Kris and Khloe, he described how difficult it had been to connect with someone on a romantic level. Kris, curious about what kind of person might be a good match for him, asked directly what he looks for in an ideal partner. Without missing a beat, Scott turned toward Khloe with a playful smirk and asked, "I don't know, how tall are you?" While gesturing toward her, Khloe, clearly amused but caught off guard, looked away with a smile and said teasingly, "This guy," while Scott laughed out loud. The scene didn't end there. In a confessional moment filmed afterward, Kris shared her own thoughts, saying she believed Scott probably did have a crush on Khloe. She even went on to admit that she understood why, joking that she herself had a crush on Khloe and adding that practically everyone did. Kris laughed as she claimed even the cameramen on set were not immune to Khloe's charm. She wrapped up her comment by saying it would be great if they could find someone for Scott who was close to Khloe in personality or energy. Once the clip circulated online, however, many viewers were less amused. Social media platforms, particularly Reddit, lit up with heated discussions about whether Scott's comment had crossed a line. One user bluntly described the remark as so inappropriate, while another admitted they were genuinely shocked watching the exchange play out. The conversation quickly turned into a debate about boundaries, friendship, and how much joking is too much, especially between people who share such a long and complicated history. Some fans argued that Scott's behavior might not be as serious as it seemed. One viewer suggested that Scott's comments could have been more about keeping his position within the Kardashian family circle than about genuine attraction. They claimed Scott knew exactly what to say to stay in good standing with the family, implying that his lifestyle depended heavily on maintaining those close connections. This user described Scott as someone who hasn't worked in a traditional sense for most of his life and isn't likely to start anytime soon, hinting that his humor and charm are part of how he keeps himself included in the family dynamic. Others saw the interaction in a different light entirely. A fan offered an unpopular opinion by saying they did not believe Scott actually wanted to pursue Khloe romantically. Instead, they believed Scott admired Khloe for the way she has handled personal challenges over the years and that he made playful remarks as a way to lift her spirits. This person described Scott as Khloe's hype man on camera, emphasizing that they likely have a close friendship rooted in mutual respect and quick-witted banter. According to this view, their chemistry is part of why the show's producers often put them together in scenes, but it doesn't necessarily reflect anything romantic happening off-screen. The fan also speculated that the two probably do not see each other much outside of filming. Even so, the criticism didn't end there. Scott's history of making suggestive jokes about Khloe has been brought back into focus. One particular moment from the October 12 episode of The Kardashians was widely discussed online. In that episode, Scott, who shares 3 children with Kourtney Kardashian, made another off-color comment. While talking about his upcoming milestone birthday, he seemed to imply that he would like to be intimate with Khloe when he turned 40, adding a remark about hoping his back would be feeling better by then. He said with a smirk, "My 40th birthday maybe, me and you." Which caused yet another wave of online backlash. For many viewers, this was just one example in a series of comments that made them question whether Scott was taking his humor too far. Some felt the remarks were harmless teasing between friends who know each other well, while others viewed them as a sign of inappropriate boundaries, especially considering the family-like closeness between Scott and Khloe. The polarizing responses highlighted how differently people can interpret the same exchange depending on their perspective and their feelings about the people involved. The dynamic between Scott and the Kardashian family has always been complex. He was in a long-term relationship with Kourtney Kardashian, with whom he shares children, and even after their romantic relationship ended, he remained a regular part of the family's lives and television presence. This closeness has kept him deeply involved in many of their personal and public storylines, making moments like this one even more scrutinized. The fact that Kris openly joked about Scott's supposed crush on Khloe added another layer to the conversation, as some fans wondered whether her lighthearted attitude toward the situation was appropriate given how others perceived it. In the broader context of reality television, moments like these walk a fine line between entertainment and discomfort. Viewers tune in for candid, often unscripted interactions, but those same moments can spark debates about personal boundaries, respect, and the image the cast presents to the world. In Scott's case, his humor has long been a defining trait, but it has also occasionally landed him in hot water with both the family and the audience. Whether he genuinely has feelings for Khloe or is simply playing up their chemistry for the cameras remains unclear, but the conversation surrounding his remarks has shown just how invested people are in the dynamics of the Kardashian circle. What stands out is how differently fans interpret Scott and Khloe's interactions. Some think their witty exchanges are harmless and add to the show's entertainment value, while others believe they reveal underlying tensions or attitudes that should be addressed. And with Scott's past comments continuing to resurface, it seems likely that this debate will remain a talking point among viewers for some time. In a family that thrives on public attention, even a single offhand remark can spark days of discussion, proving once again that nothing said on camera stays small in the Kardashian world. Some fans argued that Scott's behavior might not be as serious as it seemed. One viewer suggested that Scott's comments could have been more about keeping his position within the Kardashian family circle than about genuine attraction. They claimed Scott knew exactly what to say to stay in good standing with the family, implying that his lifestyle depended heavily on maintaining those close connections. This user described Scott as someone who hasn't worked in a traditional sense for most of his life and isn't likely to start anytime soon, hinting that his humor and charm are part of how he keeps himself included in the family dynamic. Others saw the interaction in a different light entirely. A fan offered an unpopular opinion by saying they did not believe Scott actually wanted to pursue Khloe romantically. Others saw the interaction in a different light entirely. A fan offered an unpopular opinion by saying they did not believe Scott actually wanted to pursue Khloe romantically. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.